This was insane to witness as Willy Adames does something the Giants have not seen since 2004, over 2 decades ago. We're going to get all into that on this episode of SF Giants Digest. But before we get into it, make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button as we get this channel off the ground. That would be greatly appreciated by me and everyone over at Digest Media. Now, getting right into it, what an interesting year for Willy Adames to break such a iconic curse with the San Francisco Giants. Getting right into it, before the season for Just Baseball Media, I put out an article back in December, actually, right when Willy Adames had signed with the Giants, and I said this could be a franchise turning point. And one of the most exciting aspects of this agreement is the potential of Adames breaking the Giants' 30 home run drought, which is really well known across baseball as one of the biggest curses currently, well, not anymore, but that was currently going on in the game. Adames' 32 home runs in 2024 demonstrate his consistent power, making him a candidate to revitalize an offense that has lacked a true slugger for years. Now, the Giants have had tons of players come close to hitting 30. Brandon Belt came extremely close in 2021 when he had 29 heading into Coors Field at the end of the season, where he definitely could have hit in one more and gotten that 30 home run mark on his career, but that did not happen as he got hit in the hand, ended his season prematurely, and he was not available for the playoffs. Matt Chapman just last season hit 27. He would have had to go insane on the last weekend of the year to reach that 30 home run mark, as he had 27 heading into the final weekend. And then, Pablo Sandoval came close back in the day. A couple of guys have had big power numbers, just never reached that 30 home run mark, which is really crazy. And this is what I pointed out. Willy Adames is a guy who had done it twice in his career before this season and has had a couple of seasons in the high 20s. It just seemed like there was a very good chance that he could come to a new home and find his footing fairly quickly and reach that 30 home run mark in his first season. But if we're being honest, and anyone who followed the Giants this season, that is not quite how it went down. This is Willy Adames' stats from opening day up until June 8th, and it was rough, if we're being honest. He did not look like the guy we signed. He did not look like the guy that the Giants handed out the most expensive contract in franchise history. He was hitting just 193 with a 303 slugging percentage for a 67 weighted runs created plus. Remember, 100 is league average, so 33 points below league average in terms there. And then only 5 home runs in almost 300 plate appearances, that was really concerning. Willy Adames is a guy who plays every day. You know he might not hit for a ton of average, but he usually gets his home runs. He has that launch angle type swing where he's going to get things in the air, and it just wasn't working out. It took a while for him to get his first home run in the year, a couple of weeks before that one in Philadelphia, and just a really rough start to his career with the San Francisco Giants. However, after June 8th, so June 9th and June 10th, Willy Adames got 2 days off, and just to refresh his mind, just to clear things out. He knew he wasn't playing well. There's a lot of frustration from the fans, and he knew he needed to pick things up. Bob Melvin gave him 2 days off just to collect and regather things, and it ended up really working out, as from June 10th until the end of the year, Willy Adames was really one of the best hitters in baseball. Definitely one of the best hitting shortstops in baseball. He slashed 248, 344, 504, which is a lot more on par with his career norms. A 135 WRC plus, and he hit 25 home runs in 400 plate appearances. That is a lot more like the Willy Adames we signed, the guy who Buster Posey handed out this huge contract to, which was the most money this team has committed to a player up until trading for Rafael Devers just a few months later. The strikeout rate, 25%, with a 12% walk rate. He just looked like such a complete hitter. And the last month of the year, he had slowed down a little bit, if we're being honest. When the Giants had gotten close to that wild card spot, they fell apart. And the big three of Adames, Devers, Chapman, they were not producing, if we're being quite honest. And however, at the last weekend of the year, Willy Adames finally put it together. He hit number 29 the first game of the series against the Rockies, and heading into game 162, there's a lot of pressure on Willy. He knew that Giants fans were wanting to see this, and Bob Melvin actually hit him leadoff in the order, just so there's a chance that he gets an extra at bat, maybe at the end of the game if he hasn't hit it yet. And it did not take that long, as the first pitch of the game as the leadoff hitter, his only game as the leadoff hitter this year, Willy Adames hit the first pitch to dead center field. And you see here from Just Baseball, the Giants' 30 home run curse is over. Willy Adames becomes the first Giant to hit 30 bombs in a season since Barry Bonds in 2004. Now that is pretty insane to think that it has been 21 seasons since the Giants have had a 30 home run hitter on their team. Every team actually has had 5 individual seasons of 30 home runs or more, so that kind of puts it in perspective. Even teams like the White Sox, who haven't had a lot of good history, the Marlins, teams like that, even they have had 5 players or 5 individual seasons of 30 home runs or more, and the Giants have had 0. A little bit embarrassing, but with a team that plays in a pitcher-friendly park like Oracle Park, the Giants always struggle to have big power numbers outside of 2021, where they had that platoon season where they just went absolutely insane. But none of those guys hit 30. We mentioned Barron Bell, he came very close, but still none of those guys hit 30, and the Giants finally have their first 30 home run hitter since 2004. I was at the game on Sunday. I was there for the last game of the season, and I could tell you firsthand that everybody in that ballpark knew that Willy Adames needed one more home run to reach 30. They knew the history that could be seen in that game, and with the first pitch of the game, and it was launched to center field. As soon as it went over the wall, the crowd erupted, and you could definitely tell it was more special than just a regular home run, in the middle of a season. It was the last game of the year. There was a couple of records being broken. Logan Webb did something cool. Wilma Flores got a little ovation. But Willy Adames really with the story of the day, breaking the 21-year drought of a Giant not hitting 30 home runs. It was really cool to see. And for me personally, I was born in 2004, so that last year it happened. I've really, in my lifetime, haven't seen a Giant hit 30 home runs. It's pretty crazy to think that in my entire lifetime, not a single player has hit 30 or more, but it was really cool to be there when it happened as a younger fan who hasn't seen it happen in his lifetime. So that was really cool to see. But just a really, really cool moment for the Giants, for Willy Adames, of course, and for a franchise that has lacked star power since Buster Posey retired. Not a lot of guys with the big name in baseball outside of Logan Webb, who's finally getting his recognition. But you signed Willy Adames to be this guy. You signed Willy Adames to be the face of your franchise. You signed him to be the first 30 home run hitter since Barry Bonds. And now you have Adames, you have Devers, 2 guys that could do that pretty consistently, you would hope, across these next 5 years or so. And all of a sudden, the Giants have a core where you had this 21-year drought. And it seems like all of a sudden, next year, you could have a couple of guys do this. This season, in 2025, the Giants had 4 guys in the 20 or more home run range. Obviously, Rafael Devers finished with 34 on the year, but only 20 of those came with the Giants, as you see in the graphic. 15 of them, came with the Red Sox before the trade. And Elliot Ramos hit 21, Matt Chapman hit 21, and then obviously Willy Adames with a 30. Matt Chapman, he missed, I think, 33 games or something like that this season. So you think when he has a full season, a healthy season, he could definitely tap into that power a little bit more and get close to 30. Elliot Ramos, he was kind of the guy who Giants fans expected to break the curse. After an all-star season, a breakout last year, he didn't have the power output you'd want from him this season, but still a guy young in his career who could definitely have a season where he just taps into that power a little bit more, maybe sells out a little bit more, and reach that 30 home run mark. And then obviously Rafael Devers, a guy who has done it plenty times in his career, did it this year, obviously, just only 20 of them came with the Giants. And it's really impressive. He hit 20 home runs in only 90 games with the Giants. So you really expect him to do it next season. He seemed to have finally figured out hitting in Oracle Park and had no issue with the dimensions or anything like that. So that shows you that when you get the right players, Oracle Park is not necessarily a pitcher-friendly park. The right guys can make it work for them. Rafael Devers has no issues hitting there. And like I said, all of a sudden, you have 4 guys who have the potential to break that 30 home run curse, and I would not be surprised to see at least 2 guys hit 30 home runs in 2026, which, like I said, is pretty insane when you consider the fact that The Giants went 21 seasons without a 30 home run hitter, and all of a sudden you have 4 guys with the potential to do so. So a really exciting time to be a Giants fan. Obviously, the team did not make the postseason this season. Really disappointing with the offseason they had, the start they had, but really exciting time for the team. Really exciting moment for Willy Adames once again. He is finally looking like the star of the team, the face of the franchise, and he did what you signed him to do. He went out there and hit a ton of home runs. He played good defense at shortstop after June 10th. Those 2 days off really seemed to have refreshed him, and he looks like a guy who can help lead this team to a postseason, help lead this team to possibly a World Series. We'll see what happens over the next couple of seasons, but the Giants definitely have a fun offseason ahead of them. But let me know down in the comments if you remember Barry Bonds hitting 30 home runs 2004, if you were around baseball and you were a fan of baseball when that happened. Obviously, it's been 21 years, so it's a long time, but the curse is finally over. A big sigh of relief for Willy Adames, for the Giants franchise, as they finally have a player hit 30 home runs, as every other team has had it happen at least 5 times in that span. But thank you for stopping by SF Giants Digest. Make sure to subscribe and check out the next video. Thanks.